I lost everything at 68, and it wasn't the stock market, a scam, or bad luck. It was a decision everyone told me was smart. That's what Robert told me, hands wrapped around a coffee cup that had gone cold. And here's the thing that kept me up that night. His mistake? It's one of 7 patterns that separate peaceful retirement from decades of quiet financial panic. If you're over 50, one of these is already happening to you. And the scariest part? They all feel like responsible choices. 63% of retirees say money stress never actually goes away, according to the Employee Benefit Research Institute's 2023 data. But here's what shocked me after interviewing 40-plus elders over age 75. It's not about having less money than they planned. It's about 7 invisible mistakes that compound silently for decades. Today, we're counting down the 7 retirement money mistakes elders wish they could undo. These aren't the obvious ones, maxing out credit cards or never saving. These are the ones your financial advisor might not mention, the ones that look wise until they're not. Stay until mistake number 3. It's the one the entire financial industry profits from hiding. Let's start with number 7. But wait, before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff. Comment, "I subscribe" below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Mistake number 7. Retiring to nothing instead of for something. Robert was a corporate lawyer, 66 years old. He'd spent 15 years counting down to retirement like a prisoner marking days on a cell wall. Freedom was coming. Rest was coming. The life he'd earned was coming. First Monday after his last day of work, 9 a.m., panic attack in his kitchen. No emails to answer. No case to prepare. No one needed him. Just void. That first year, Robert spent $47,000 trying to fill the time. Bought a boat he used twice. Booked trips that felt hollow. Signed up for hobbies that gathered dust. Not because he loved any of it, because the silence was unbearable. Here's what the Stanford Center on Longevity found in their 2021 study. Retirees without a clear purpose spend 34% more in their first 3 years than those who retired for something specific. They're not buying things. They're buying distraction from the question, what now? The wisdom Robert eventually learned from an 82-year-old volunteer at the library. Don't retire from work. Retire for a vision. Your action step. 6 months before retirement, test drive your new identity for 10 hours a week. Volunteer, consult, create, mentor. Something that answers the 9 a.m. question without a paycheck. But purposeless spending isn't the worst part. Mistake number 6 destroys is something more valuable than money. It destroys families. Mistake number 6, the adult children's money trap. Linda was 71 when I met her, but the pain in her eyes made her look older. At 63, her son came to her with opportunity in his voice. A business idea, just needed temporary help. $85,000. He'd pay her back within 2 years. 8 years later, the business had failed. The money never came back. And worse than the dollars, Linda and her son barely spoke anymore. Every holiday carried the weight of unspoken resentment. He felt ashamed. She felt betrayed. Both felt trapped. The hidden cost nobody mentions. Linda postponed knee surgery for 3 years because she couldn't afford it after that gift. She lived with pain that changed how she moved through the world. All because just this once turned into a financial crater. The AARP 2022 Financial Security Study found that parents who give adult children $50,000 or more are 2.3 times more likely to run out of money before they die. 0.3 times, that's not a small difference. Here's the pattern. Just this once never is. It becomes the business that fails, then the divorce settlement, then the grandkids' education, then the car that broke down. Each one feels like love. Each one erodes the foundation. Elder Margaret, who lived to 97, taught me her rule. Help them fish. Never give them your last fish. Offer time. Offer advice. Offer connections. Offer to co-sign if you must, so at least the bank does the evaluation. But never give away your retirement principal, because that money has one job: keep you from becoming their burden in 10 years. That mistake breaks hearts. But mistake number 5 breaks banks. And the cruel part is, it feels responsible. Mistake number 5, paying off the mortgage too fast. James and Carol were the kind of couple who did everything right. Saved religiously. Lived below their means. At 65, they took $180,000 from their savings and paid off their house in one stroke. The mortgage burning party felt like victory. For years later, Carol needed emergency surgery. $35,000 after insurance. They had maybe $8,000 liquid. So they did what they had to. Took out a home equity line of credit at 8.9% interest. To access the equity in the house, they just sacrificed liquidity to own outright. Read that again. They paid off a 3.2% mortgage to take out an 8.9% HELOC 4 years later. The Journal of Financial Planning published research in 2020 showing that retirees who kept mortgages under 3.5% interest had 41% more liquid assets available for emergencies. Not a little more. 41%. Here's the paradox nobody mentions. The debt-free dream can create a financial prison. When your body breaks down, and it will, you need cash, not equity. You can't write a check from your roof. Elder wisdom from the Depression era says it best. Cash flow beats ownership when your body breaks down. Your action step, before you throw every dollar at that mortgage, ask yourself, do I have 2 years of expenses sitting liquid? Medical emergencies, car replacements, home repairs. Can I handle all of it without going into debt? If not, that mortgage can wait. But losing liquidity is fixable. Mistake number 4? It compounds silently for decades, and most people never see it coming. Mistake number 4, the 4% rule blindness. Patricia was 73 when we spoke, but she was sharp as winter air. At 66, she'd followed the famous 4% withdrawal rule religiously. You know the one. Withdraw 4% of your portfolio each year, adjust for inflation, and supposedly your money lasts 30 years. Year 3 of her retirement, the market dropped 22%. And Patricia, following the rule, still withdrew 4% because the rule said so. Her portfolio never recovered. That withdrawal during the dip locked in losses that compounded into a crater. Now 73, she's living on 40% less than she'd planned. The assisted living facility she toured at 68 can't afford it. She's trying to make a too-big house work with a body that's breaking down. Morningstar's 2021 analysis found the 4% rule fails in 32% of retirement scenarios during high inflation periods. Almost 1 in 3. Those aren't lottery odds. Those are Russian roulette odds. Here's the truth financial gurus don't emphasize. The 4% rule was built on historical averages. But you don't retire into an average. You retire into a specific decade with specific market conditions, specific inflation, a specific healthcare system. Elder Frank, 88 years old, who retired 3 separate times after losing jobs in recessions, told me, flexibility kept me fed through 3 recessions. Rules starved my neighbors. Your action step, dynamic withdrawal. 3% in down markets. 5% in boom years. Actually look at conditions, not a rule written in a textbook. That mistake is tactical, fixable. But mistake number 3? It's the one the insurance and financial industry has misaligned incentives to hide, and it's cost retirees billions. Mistake number 3, buying the wrong insurance at the wrong time. Thomas was 68 when he made the decision that felt like wisdom: simplify. He canceled his whole life insurance policy, $450 a month he could finally stop paying at age 64. No more dependence. No more need. Freedom. At 71, Thomas was diagnosed with a condition requiring $8,000 a month in care. No long-term care insurance. Medicare covered some, left canyons. His kids had to sell his house to pay for the first 2 years of care. Here's the twist that haunts me. Thomas kept paying full coverage car insurance on a vehicle he drove twice a month. Kept the extended warranty on appliances. Kept the low-deductible everything. He was insuring the inconveniences while leaving the catastrophe exposed. The American Association for Long-Term Care Insurance found in 2023 that only 7% of retirees have long-term care coverage, but 52% will need it. 7% protected, 52% at risk. Why the gap? Here's the industry secret your advisor might not say out loud. They earn much higher commissions selling you investment products than insurance. Misaligned incentives. They're not lying. They're just not incentivized to protect you the way you need protection. Elder Sophie, 91, who'd seen her friends lose everything to medical bills, taught me. Insure the catastrophes. Self-insure the inconveniences. Here's your matrix. Keep health insurance, long-term care coverage if you can qualify, umbrella liability insurance. Drop or minimize life insurance when you have no dependents, low-deductible auto insurance, extended warranties on everything, insurance on things you could replace with a credit card. That one shift, catastrophic coverage, high deductibles on the small stuff, frees up hundreds a month while actually protecting what matters. But insurance mistakes cost thousands over years. Mistake number 2? It costs your entire legacy, and most people don't see it until the tax bill arrives. Mistake number 2. Forgetting the tax torpedo in retirement. David was 70 when the bomb hit. He'd planned everything. Social Security, $4,000 a month. IRA withdrawals, $3,000. Small pension, $1,500. Total, $8,500 a month. Comfortable. April of year 1, his accountant delivered the news. He owed $18,000 in taxes. $18,000 on a $102,000 income. How? The tax torpedo. 85% of his Social Security became taxable once his other income pushed him over provisional income thresholds. His IRA withdrawal stacked on top. His pension triggered another bracket. And because his combined income crossed $44,000 for married couples, Medicare hit him with IRMA surcharges, an extra $3,200 a year in premiums. He lost 28% of the income he thought was his. The Tax Foundation found in 2022 that 63% of middle-income retirees pay a higher effective tax rate in retirement than during their working years. Read that again. Higher. Because no one taught them about provisional income, stacking, and the Medicare penalty brackets. The hidden torpedo. Every income stream talks to each other. Social Security plus IRA plus pension can push you into a tax nightmare that a single income source wouldn't. The wisdom from an elder who taught financial literacy for 40 years. The IRS is your partner in retirement. You don't escape them. You negotiate before you withdraw. Your action plan. Roth conversions in your early retirement years, ages 60 to 70, before required minimum distributions kick in. Bracket management. Stay conscious of the thresholds. Don't just withdraw randomly. Strategic sequencing. Taxable accounts first, then tax-deferred, then Roth last. Advanced move. After age 70 and a half, use qualified charitable distributions from your IRA. Donate directly to charity. Doesn't count as income. Satisfies your RMD. This isn't about cheating. It's about not volunteering for penalties you can legally avoid. Taxes shrink your money silently. But mistake number 1? It erases your peace. And the most painful part, nobody sees it coming because it feels like finally living. David was 70 when the bomb hit. He'd planned everything. Social Security, $4,000 a month. IRA withdrawals, $3,000. Small pension, $1,500. Total, $8,500 a month. Comfortable. April of year 1, his accountant delivered the news. He owed $18,000 in taxes. $18,000 on a $102,000 income. How? The tax torpedo. 85% of his Social Security became taxable once his other income pushed him over provisional income thresholds. His IRA withdrawal stacked on top. His pension triggered another bracket. And because his combined income crossed $44,000 for married couples, Medicare hit him with IRMA surcharges, an extra $3,200 a year in premiums. He lost 28% of the income he thought was his. The Tax Foundation found in 2022 that 63% of middle-income retirees pay a higher effective tax rate in retirement than during their working years. Read that again. Higher. Because no one taught them about provisional income, stacking, and the Medicare penalty brackets. The hidden torpedo. Every income stream talks to each other. Social Security plus IRA plus pension can push you into a tax nightmare that a single income source wouldn't. The wisdom from an elder who taught financial literacy for 40 years. The IRS is your partner in retirement. You don't escape them. You negotiate before you withdraw. Your action plan. Roth conversions in your early retirement years, ages 60 to 70, before required minimum distributions kick in. Bracket management. Stay conscious of the thresholds. Don't just withdraw randomly. Strategic sequencing. Taxable accounts first, then tax-deferred, then Roth last. Advanced move. After age 70 and a half, use qualified charitable distributions from your IRA. Donate directly to charity. Doesn't count as income. Satisfies your RMD. This isn't about cheating. It's about not volunteering for penalties you can legally avoid. Taxes shrink your money silently. But mistake number 1? It erases your peace. And the most painful part, nobody sees it coming because it feels like finally living. Mistake number 1. Lifestyle inflation in the freedom years. Susan and Michael, both 69 now, spent 40 years dreaming of the good life. 40 years of saying, when we retire. Europe, an RV to tour national parks. A lake house for the grandkids. Making up for lost time. Making memories. Finally living. First 5 years of retirement, they did it all. 3 European trips. Bought the RV, 58,000. Bought the lake house, down payment, furnishing, upkeep. Helped grandkids with college. Every dollar felt earned. Every experience felt like justice. Age 74, their advisor sat them down with a spreadsheet that stopped their hearts. They'd spent 60% of their nest egg. 60% in 9 years. Now 77, they're selling the lake house. The RV sits in storage, too expensive to maintain, too painful to sell at a loss. And the life they actually need, healthcare, in-home help, safety modifications, they can't afford. Here's the psychological trap nobody warns you about. After 40 years of delayed gratification, spending feels like medicine. It feels like reward. It feels like the whole point. But your 65-year-old self has no idea what your 85-year-old self will need. Ohio State University's retirement study in 2023 tracked this exact pattern. Retirees increase spending by 27% in their first 3 years. Then, years 7 through 10, they hit what researchers call lifestyle correction crisis, forced downgrades, selling assets, panic. The emotional cost of downgrading after you've upgraded? Depression, shame, family tension when you can't help anymore. It's not the same as never having it. It's losing what you had. Elder Maria, 86, who lived through retirement twice after being widowed and remarrying, told me something I'll never forget. Start at 80% of your dream life. You can always add. You can't subtract without breaking. Her deep truth, front-load caution, back-load freedom. Because your body will break down. Your spouse might get sick. The market might crash. Adult kids might need you. And if you've already spent the buffer, you have no choices left. The 3-year rule. Any major lifestyle increase must be sustainably affordable for 3 years before you commit. Not one great year, 3 normal ones. Test your expensive dreams first. Rent the RV for a month before buying. Airbnb the location for a season before buying property. Take the trip on a budget before booking first-class everything. And here's the hardest wisdom. If you can't do the dream and keep your safety net intact, the dream isn't ready yet. You see the pattern now? All 7 mistakes share one invisible root: optimism bias. We plan for the best-case retirement, not the realistic one. Every elder I interviewed who made these mistakes said some version of the same thing. I thought I'd stay healthy longer. I thought my kids wouldn't need help. I thought the market only had one direction. I thought I'd have more time. There's an ancient concept, planning for the siege while enjoying the feast. It sounds pessimistic until you realize it's the only way to actually enjoy the feast. Because if you know you're covered when things break down, you can be fully present when things are good. These aren't mistakes. They're unlearned lessons that only age can teach. But you're learning them now. You get to skip the mistake without skipping the wisdom. Robert, from mistake number 7, he's 74 now. Volunteers 15 hours a week as a legal advocate for low-income seniors. Spends 40% less than those first panic years. And when I asked him if he's happy, he said, "I'm useful." That's better than happy. Patricia, from mistake number 4, she adopted flexible withdrawals, rebuilt her portfolio to 85% of what it was, and she'll make it. Here's the universal pattern. Every elder who recovered from these mistakes did one thing. They adjusted without shame. They didn't defend the decision. They didn't spiral. They adapted. And that's the gift of this knowledge right now. Before you make the mistake, you get to adjust before the cost. Retirement isn't about having enough money. It's about having enough wisdom to make any amount work. So here's my question for you, and I really want you to think about this. If you could have dinner with your 85-year-old self, and they could tell you one decision to change today about money, what do you think they'd say? Comment below. The answers always surprise us, and I will read every one. And if someone you love is approaching retirement, send them this video. It's the conversation most families avoid until it's too late. We share elder wisdom every week that financial advisors won't, because we don't sell anything but truth. If that matters to you, you know what to do. Thank you for being here. And remember, the best time to learn these lessons is before you need them.